Episode 16, Legacy of Code. The Lagos skyline glowed like a million ideas waiting to happen. Inside Equitech headquarters, applause thundered. The company had just been recognized among Africa's most innovative tech firms. Christian and Michael stood side by side, both in tailored suits, both with the quiet calm of men who had finally built peace from pride. After the ceremony, a familiar voice called from behind, "Still saving the world with algorithms?" They turned and there she was, Amara. Still radiant, still graceful, now with the poise of someone who had seen the world and mastered it. She had been living in the US, working with Meta as a project lead, helping build tools that connected young African developers to global opportunities. Her presence brought back every memory, the laughter, the heartbreak, the silent forgiveness that time had woven between them. They hadn't lost contact over the years. Occasional messages, birthday calls, and random video chats had kept their bond alive. But seeing her in person again made everything feel new and complete. They spent that weekend together revisiting old haunts in Oka, telling stories about the Unizik lab that birthed their rivalry, and laughing over how life had turned their chaos into legacy. On Sunday evening, they stood together on the terrace of Christian's apartment in Lekki, watching the city lights flicker below. "I always knew you two would end up building something big," Amara said softly. "You were just too busy proving who was smarter to notice how alike you were." Michael chuckled. "You were the only bug in our system we never wanted to fix." They all laughed, not awkwardly, but with the warmth of people who had finally outgrown their wounds. When Amara flew back to the US 2 days later, there were no tears, only gratitude. She had her path, and they had theirs, but somehow, they were all part of one story. A story that began with rivalry, matured into friendship, and ended as a family built by destiny and code. That night, Christian raised a glass in their office and said quietly, "To the girl who linked our lines of code and to the bugs that made us human." Michael smiled. "And to what we built, not from perfection, but from persistence." Moral: life doesn't always fix broken connections. Sometimes, it just upgrades them to Wi-Fi. This is a fiction. Series epilogue: Broken Code. In the end, Christian and Michael didn't just build a company, they rebuilt themselves. What began as rivalry at Unizik became a friendship tempered by failure, love, and forgiveness. Amara's return was not a spark of old flames, but the quiet proof that time had done its healing. Equitech stood as their legacy, yet the truest invention was learning how to debug pride and code humanity. Moral: growth begins the moment you stop trying to prove you've already arrived.
If this is your first time of coming across this channel, welcome to Brother Equity channel. And please consider subscribing for fresh content, and to our returning subscriber, thank you all for staying with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.